Hello, everybody. Welcome to Winners League for the first of the NA broadcast of this week. We have had some amazing matches so far, and we're about to continue that streak. Unfortunately, we only do have 2 matches for you tonight, but they are going to be absolutely fun to watch. That's for damn sure. It is Variance Gaming versus Big Frames coming up first, and then the second match coming up after that, it will be Party Astronauts versus Low Key Esports. So, going to be pretty close games. I'm, of course, Strong Legs, aka Roy, and I am joined with Mike. How you doing, man? You look like you're still recovering from a fun weekend.
Yeah, I'm back. Maybe a little worse for wear, but it was a great time out in Vegas, and I'm excited to get into some of the Winners League broadcasts. Variance, obviously, a team that's pretty exciting. I don't think have we done a broadcast with them yet. It's
I
the player
don't
I'm most
believe
familiar
so.
with them is KMZ,
Hmm.
who I think came out to a land that I was at one point. So he's an interesting player, a really dynamic player. Some other good names on the roster that I'm eager to get a window into, and then a team I'm a lot more familiar with in Big Frames,
For
who
sure.
should always deliver on the
Yeah,
content.
I mean, I imagine we're going to see Variance kind of like on the upwards trend, right? They're moving up in the ranks now. Also, I like your new name underneath your name, little young Keith. It looks like you changed your hair
Ooh,
color a little bit.
I'm
But
I'm seaside now. Do you want to go to the seaside? I'm
uh,
not trying to say that everybody wants to go, but
Seaside wishes you could
please
look
tell me you
like you.
understand the
You know what I mean?
reference.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Sorry.
please. You
But
didn't get that reference?
no.
It's a Kook song. Hold
Who?
on, I'm gonna link it.
I have no idea who that is, but I think we might be ready to. Nope, we are not ready to jump in the server just yet. So, you're actually going to talk a little bit about some of the players. Now, from what I'm seeing on Twitter, I think Variance Gaming is about to make some future roster changes. I think Power said he is no longer able to commit his time on the roster. So, I imagine they will be probably looking for a newcomer. Seaside, confirm if this is true for me in the chat if possible. But,
Seaside stepping in. He's actually gonna be taking off the casting role and just stepping in as the raw fragging potential. We all
mhm.
know he could do it. He's gonna take the gloves off and just straight duel everybody in the server.
I mean,
Right?
hey, don't sleep on Keith. He's a gamer. He hides behind the farming, but he's a gamer.
I believe it. I believe it. As sure as I am not a gamer, I am sure that Seaside is uh, elite fragging potential. So my favorite, quick aside, my favorite random stand-in moment from this last few months was when Mix had to stand in for a space station game because Davies' power went out. And Mix steps into the server from the coach role and just absolutely dunks on his opponents. Goes
Really?
something like 15-6 and just top frags. I think he wound up having the best stats
No
on a
way.
per game basis for his team for the whole season, which was
That
hilarious.
actually would be so fun. Like you don't expect the coaches or like the analysts to step in and kill it, right? It's like Emma Pet stepping into like an MIBR game and versus like versus Energy, he just drops like 20 bombs on Cold Zero and Fallen.
Yeah.
Like that would be nuts. No one would ever expect that. But how are we looking in the server update here? Are they ready? I think they were having some server issues before. We're not ready yet, are we? I think we have updated standings. We could probably just jump straight into that and actually look over to see kind of the updated standings for the week or for us, excuse me, up until now. So obviously it will not include today's matches, but Polar Ace, CLG Red with a 2-0. Okay, I think their last one was against Variance Gaming in like
Okay.
double OT or something. I remember catching the end of that. That was actually a nuts game to watch. Polar Ace, okay, they're sitting at the 2-0. Now we've seen them play. I think it was against Livid, and the other one was Hysteria, if I remember correctly. And those were both pretty good games. The Livid game
The
was
Florida
like
game was a new game, right?
no Train. It was like 16-13.
Oh, I'm thinking of
I think it was
Grizzlies who
Lazarus
played Lazarus on
versus
this. Yeah, that was
Hysteria.
yep. Oh, that was Hysteria? Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, do we have a Group B's? See that? And there's Singularity, the 4-0. They're absolutely crushing their group right now. Ints, of course, they're 2-0. They haven't played as many matches. Low Key Esports, they have split, and then Low Key Esports will, of course, have another chance against the Party Astronauts. So they're actually tied up. So both of these teams are 1-1. They're about to play for the lead in the leaderboards. Now, if you guys are also wondering, half of these teams in every single group, so four out of 8 groups, or excuse me, 4 out of 8 teams in every group will be advancing into playoffs. So that means rank 1 through 4. Las Vegas Minigunners, they're actually looking pretty good as well. 1-1 as well. Identity Disorder and Team Hyper, they're kind of a bit on the struggle bus in Group B. Let's see what's popping over Group C right now. Okay, Team 1 Esports 2-0, Massive Impact 2-0, Bad News Bears 2-0. I'm not really surprised to see that. Dignitas,
No.
they're not having as good of a time as CLG Red right now. They're kind of in the 0-2 boat.
So One thing that'll be interesting in this group is that that Bad News Bears rosters just got a makeover. They brought in Dazzle, they brought in Relics.
Right.
It's going to be a really new look team, and I'm super excited for the damage that they can do. I think that is going to be a pretty impressive roster. Obviously, they're gunning for sort of that top of one of these teams. You know, Team One and Massive Impact are their heavy competition. Then you've got teams like Furia, Lazarus, who they're really trying to gear up and be ready to take on. And I think that this new
Definitely.
look roster could be what they need.
You know, and I'm actually looking. Okay, so if I had to predict, obviously it's way too early for any sort of predictions that would be reasonable, but I think it's going to be Team 1, Massive Impact, Bad News Bears securing 3 spots in this group. I really just don't see it unfolding differently unless there's like, you know, some sort of like roster issues or whatever it might plague them. But I mean, just assuming everything will, you know, move in a reasonable way, I think it'll be those 3 teams finding the first 3 spots. But I'm looking at the 4th spot, and there's Zone GG. Of course, that team is nuts, right? It's Hunter and Co. They have crazy roster. I think they just picked up 1 new player as well. So yeah, I think it was a proto for Leaf. So that's a nuts roster for Zone. And then there's Chris and the boys. That's the ex-Intact roster, right? We're talking about Swan and all these players who are, you know, obviously really, really good as well. And Grizzlies, and they're not a bad team. Like, they're not having a good time right now. Yeah, they're losing, but it's still a pretty solid team. And of course, High Octane's up here as well. So that 4th spot is looking super competitive in Group C.
Yeah, I got some peeks into Grizzlies. That was Kohler who plays in that roster.
Right.
He was at the event this past weekend, so I was chatting with him a little bit, and that's going to be an interesting team for sure. I think my assumption for who would wind up filling that 4th slot would be Chris and the boys, but starting out 0-2 really
It's
does
tough.
cast some doubt on that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
tough to come back
yeah,
from.
definitely. I don't know if I had to guess one of these 5 teams, I'm gonna lean towards Zone. I feel like Zone might have that 4th spot on their lock, but again, it's really gonna come down to whether how the rest of their games unfold, right? But let's see what's happening in Group D. That's the final group, of course, and that is wow. This is a hard group. Oh my god! Wow, I'm actually surprised to see the Quest at 0-2 right now in this group. I did not expect that one.
The Quest have been struggling a little bit lately. I mean, they did make MDL, but in the like
Struggle.
last
Yeah,
possible
struggle.
chance. And that's a team that I think that they're. It's weird to say. I think that sometimes they are. It's not even confidence because obviously that's the thing that sometimes they struggle with. It's almost like they have an expectation of themselves, and when they don't meet it, sometimes they struggle. You know, when they're initially having difficulty against teams that they don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like they should have difficulty against, they
Mm-hmm.
get in their own heads pretty hard, and that can really be an Achilles heel for them because we
I can see
know
that.
the players in that roster are super talented, and
Definitely.
obviously the formula's worked well for them before. Um, it's just they haven't really been looking smooth lately.
Yeah, I know. I do agree with that. Honestly, it's like the kind of like the cognitive dissonance, right, of these players with their expectations and the reality of how it's unfolding, right? But I think it's just a matter of time before they get really like ultra comfortable with their structure and kind of like with their play style and just kind of find their own pace, find their own gameplay. And I think as soon as that that click happens, they'll just be like infinitely better. But
Yeah.
yeah, this group is nuts. I mean, Royal versus Luminosity was a crazy match. I mean, this is Josh Ortiz squad. They came out on top of. They beat Luminosity. That was nuts. Mythic, of course. These guys are veterans, man. Like we actually sleep on Mythic. Like they have such a
We do.
nuts roster.
I'm kind of excited for Mythic this next season. I was sitting on a couch with Lex for a good chunk of this last weekend, and he's going to be playing for them again. And he's super motivated right now. He's sort of fallen back in love with the game and is really excited to be competing. And he's
This is Lex,
also
right?
like higher. This is Lex. He's entirely confident in himself. I mean, we were sitting there on the couch, and he was dead serious, telling me he wanted to 1v1 any player there, and was confident that he'd be able to take them in the
Man,
1v1.
people
So,
forget, but Lex has come from like a long history, right, of competitive gaming in multiple titles, right? Quake, Call of Duty. So he's been around for a while. Played Counter-Strike for a long time as well. So now, of course, we're into the server, and it's going to be Big Frames Cop in the ninth round. So they will get side choice on a map like Nuke. You always take those. Let's see. This is gonna be a hard game. I see that they're using Magawi instead of Power, so I think they might have their probably testing the waters with these new players. I imagine in Winners League, so that's gonna be exciting. Big Frames, of course. Dev nerfed Welsh GT Connors and Church. That's a solid roster, and they love their nuke. I've seen them play this map a lot. They're very comfortable on it, and so is Variance. So let's see how it plays out.
looks like it's going to be early aggression towards the ramp. This is something you see a lot of teams do on the T-side pistol, and Nerf's going to get dunked and just chased back. His job is to stall at this point and try and slow them down on that approach to the lower site. He's not really going to be able to do much, as he's just got to try and find a headshot angle, does some damage, but doesn't connect with any domes. And so he will fall and leave the pathway to the lower bomb site wide open. It's going to be a pure retake, and KMZ has the flank, catches T-Connors looking completely the wrong direction, and now this is very difficult for the big frames.
Yeah, they're in a man advantage, but that advantage is taken away. Well, she's stopping away, but he's having a rough time finding that headshot, but it's going to be Dev drawing more blood. He has a 3K in hand, and that's a 4th one right there, and it's all down to Fang from above, but Dev with the ace in the first round. Kit on the back, time is in his favor, and Big Frames pick up the pistol. That's a massive, massive round by Dev.
That was really, it was almost like sneaky, you know? It was just, okay, Dev's picked up a kill. Now he's got a second one. Okay, Dev, just keep going, Dev. And just, you know, picking him up one by one by one. That was a really strong performance out of Dev. He's a player who I always look to when they're on a deco, when there's a deagle in his hand.
Yeah.
Kind of just knock those pistols.
For sure.
And so that's massive.
I think,
really bails him out.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of those players on Big Frames, right? Like you have Dev, you have Welsh T-Connors in Church, like all these guys are crazy deagles. Spammer though, has the deagle of his own. He finds 1 kill outside, traded out by T-Connors immediately, and Fang.
Ooh.
Another deagle kill. There it is. Now they have a man advantage plus outside control, so Big Frames are actually in a bit of a awkward spot right now.
Nuke is such a hard map to control when you start to get spread like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got to, I mean, there's the logic of either you bundle towards one site. Obviously, 2 players are bundling towards one site. But whoever's on that lower, or who is responsible for the lower, and it looks like it's all 3 up top. And just going to go ahead and double down, give themselves the best chance of success. And fortunately for them, Variance is playing right into it. KMZ is now the last alive. No armor with a P250 and a UMP. He's got the bomb at the least. They are hunting him, and he should not be able to get more than 1. Nerf preventing him from even finding that single frag. The Big Frames will clean up. But what I was saying is you can run into a situation where your defense is just a little bit too spread out. So they decide to bunch up at A, and fortunately for them, that's where Variance chooses to go. If they had slid down secret, that's a very different round.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely. Sometimes you got to pick your poison at that time.
Yeah, I mean, even like a slight decision making there from Big Frames is massive, right? Like they knew outside control was lost, so they played 2 people behind each of the vents, knowing that if they come through mini, then they get insta punish, right? That's kind of a smart decision by Big Frames. And they have themselves a 2-0. Now, Variance Gaming, they did a good job on the eco round, but this time it's a gun round, so they need to make this one count while Big Frames' economy is kind of struggling here early.
Church playing the XM. I love to see it on this map. It's just a little unorthodox, though. He's getting ready for the wrap in from the outside. You usually see it playing walking straight under Squeaky from the hut. Nice pick from Nerf. He's just going to fall back. This is entirely what you're going to see from him all game, playing that ramp room position, especially when he's on an SMG or some sort of a limited weaponry. His job is to just punish them for trying to come this direction and then stay alive as long as possible. He's looking for the peak. Got to be careful there. It's an op on the other side. All it takes is one wrong move and they've got you caught out. But he is going to slow them, and that allows the rotation to come in, allows some support from the CTs. And he'll strike again, sticking around close up. Nerf is doing damage with the SMG. Finally, they dig him out. That's a great exchange, right? 1 MP9, 2 frags. KMZ, though, is going to be trying to bring back the math. Now only 7 health, but a frag in his counter, and the numbers equalized.
I mean, Welsh had such an opportunity to kind of get that kill, but it's going to be Church from the side of the decontamination room finding that kill. T-Connors and Dev applying pressure while Dev picks up a kill, but it's down to just Nesca now by himself. 1 versus 2. He knows where both of these players are, but the bomb is in the middle, and he has no utility to help himself out. It's going to have to be guns out from here. He's going to have to try to feel it out. It's a 1 versus 2 and only 12 seconds left.
He's committed to the fight. How does he possibly have it? They're just going to wait him out on time. He can't get up and get the bomb plant. He's realized it now. Has to force the issue right here, and he doesn't have time. He's lost it. Dev will still take the kill because why show any patience whatsoever? Dev is just on fire so far this game. 8-0 to start off in the first 3 rounds, which is nuts. But yeah, that was just a situation where he recognized it was a tough spot. He played it just a little bit too slow, but it was a really tough ask. It's going to be a pistol armor buy. Not even much armor.
Big Frames, they're off to a pretty good start.
A hot start, Roy. Hot start. Better put them in the cooling tower.
Not hot yet. They're starting to warm up, but I wouldn't say it's hot just yet. Well, actually looking for that outside pick with AWP, and he's comfortable. He's up against pistols with a scoped weapon. They're very comfortable with that one. They're all just trying to take that duel with the Deagles, but this is Leaking numbers.
Doesn't have armor. Neither did Welshie's, but it's okay. They avoid most of the issue, and it's Church actually is the only one who falls. That was potentially a wrinkle, seeing as both these players were watching outer. They could have been a little more susceptible to the pistols. Variance, unfortunately for them, not really able to take advantage of that, so it will be just a mop-up round, but now they get back to the guns. Problem is, this time they don't have that bonus round to contend with. They have the fully bought-up big frames. All the utility in the world, AUGs, ops, everything they could want. So how do you crack that very difficult side of it?
Well, I think Variance is going to start with the outside control. You have to kind of deny the vision and information flowing from that direction to spread the defense thin, at least early on, while you look to kind of make your moves. So it's going to be outside smokes coming out, but I think it's a... Actually, I was going to say looking like a fake, but the bomb is committed out in the outer courtyard, so that's not quite a fake. Welshie unable to hit an important shot right there, but it'll be Church drawing the first blood, spamming through the smokes, and Nerf actually finds a kill towards ramp, so what was looking like a beast, but is being slowly denied here for Variance. And now Big Frames have themselves a two-man advantage.
The only thing that's splitting here are their heads. They're still going to attempt this, but the problem is this is a great angle to hold with the AUG. Nerf makes it work. He falls back again, so Fang doesn't even get the chance for the trade. He gets dropped, and it's just Spammer who gets mopped up on the other flank. Easy round for the Big Frames, and keeping it clean here is going to really bolster that economy. I mean, that was pretty perfectly played by the Big Frames, just reading their aggression, taking the hit, falling back, getting the kill through smoke, finding the timing. Variance, it's almost like I understand what they're trying to do, and what they're trying to do aren't bad ideas. They're not getting any of the openers. They're getting knocked back. It's been a rough game for them so far.
Yeah, definitely. Luckily for them, they have that loss bonus, so at least they can string some rounds here in a row, have multiple chances to close it out. But now every single time they lose a round, they kind of work with less in the round after, right? So that extra utility has kind of gone away, so they have to try to make this work. But look at the outside control from Big Frames right now. They're up close and personal. Church not able to find a frag, even though with the element of surprise. Now Welshie's all by himself, and Welshie just very uncharacteristic misses from him right now. This is rough.
Okay, here you go. They get the openers. Now they can follow it through. Fang on a tear here in the 6th round. Already 3 to his name, and just nothing is coming up for the Big Frames. All Nerf was just trying to do some damage, keep this economy healthy, but now he's found the bomb and 2 and a 3rd. Nerfed. Suddenly he could do this. Only 22 HP, and then rounding the corner with his gun. Quick switch in. That's not the timing, but wow, he made that expensive for them.
Yeah, he made that very expensive for him. I mean, Variance, luckily for them, even if they trade rounds right here, it would actually still benefit Variance because they have that 4-round loss bonus still, so they're all right. Even if they lose a little bit of economy, it's not the end of the world, but this is the round that they really need, right? This is the round where they can break Big Frames' economy. They can start to take away their utility, take away their ops in the future rounds, and kind of close the gap here in rounds. Let's see how it unfolds. It seems like Variance Gaming once again going for the bread and butter utility outside. But they all regrouping in lobby. I think this is going to be either a ramp explode or... Okay, Nerf gets caught off. Spammer finds Church. That's a 2-man advantage already before the 1 minute 30. T. Connor's looking to pick up the pieces towards ramp, but he only finds 1. And suddenly went in a 4 versus 3.
That's an important kill to find, though. That changes the alchemy in their brains from this is 100% a save as soon as that they get that bomb down to, well, maybe. I think they're likely still going to be hesitant about going for this retake. I mean, just hopping into that lower bomb site when they've got all the timing to set up their post plants. Tough situation, and they've got a lot to save. 2 AUGs, a rifle, tons of utility on them as well. So they're going to go ahead and make the conservative call here. Try and keep that economy as healthy as possible for as long as possible. You got to respect it. But Variance, it's like the switch has hit, and it comes down to those entry kills. I think they've figured out a little bit of what Big Frames want to do on that CT defense, and so they're starting to look for the positions. So maybe we'll see the Big Frames shake it up a wee bit, but otherwise, I think Variance might have a little bit of a winning formula here.
Yeah, we'll really see that into play in the next round. I do like the conservative decision here from Big Frames. Keep that money. D. Connors with 2,400. Could drop off a Moss or one of the shotguns, of course. Nerf is showing he's pretty comfortable playing that, no problem. Let's see what the decision is. Nerf is already armored up, so I imagine they will be forcing up around these weapons. Yeah, so Nerf with the XM as predicted. And actually, Church picks up an XM as well. I wonder where both of these guys are going. So Church is going towards the upper site. Nerf is going to be in ramp with the XM. Okay, excuse me. You have the double shot. This is very viable. I like this.
It is. It is. This is one of those maps where that XM really shines. Tev, they've got the light of turret spray, but I don't think they realized how close up he was. So he's going to get the 2-man spray down. Should have the 3rd as well, though the flash will stall it for at least a moment. Dev once again having a big impact round. Now it's Justin Ascaps, who's so vulnerable and completely exploitable by the XM. So Big Frames answer back off the back of those auto shotties and really off the back of another big round for Dev. This man, really hot start. 11-1. Dev and Nerf, really the heavy hitters on the server at the moment.
Yeah, they're not even just like empty frags. They're like massive, very impactful frags as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
5 kills on a pistol round. You can't really ask for more.
Yeah.
That kind of got their momentum rolling, didn't it?
It really did, and he's had 2 more like that where it was just Dev really did all of the work. So I would say there are 3 rounds at this point that Big Frames can count almost, I mean, not solely, but in a large part up to Dev's performance right here. So big presence for them, very necessary. Now we're going to see if Variance can get started outer. They've had some trouble getting out of here clean. There was the one big round where Fang just killed everybody. But otherwise, outer yard seems to have been a bit of an Achilles heel. And there is a player in towards secret, so if Welshi finds the timing here, this could be deadly. They're looking for it, though. Spammer, it won't matter. He gets dropped. Tries to go back to the Welshi, but there's an op look in his way. And so he will be traded and punished. So, nice kill for Nerf. Takes away the options around the map. And now Variance. They've found their positioning back towards CT, but I don't know if they realize how far back T-Connors is. He's gotten a kill, so they gotta have an idea that he's here, but he's waiting for them to try and clear a spot.
Yeah, no, they definitely know he's here. They're very aware of his position. He's already kind of hunting for that. He has his fishing pole out. He's looking for that pick, and that would be a massive pick because it kind of denies complete control towards the outside courtyard. But I don't think T-Connors wants to give up his life. He knows that they're probably just holding for me, and it's killing time. They're down to just 35 seconds left on the clock. A decision here, it needs to happen. They can't just linger around waiting, being baited here by T-Connors. So it's going to be the A site. And it seems like Big Frames already adjusted to this. They've pushed into lobby. They're giving away that A site for free and playing the retake from pretty good positions, actually. They can retake from lobby. They can retake from the mini as well as the secret area. So it's all options available. But problem is, T-Connors is still stuck in spawn.
The thing is, though, KMZ is the one who's got to hold him, right? And as soon as that presence starts to come in, that's where he's going to be distracted. That's the confirmation that they can get off. T-Connors is just going to be toying with him, knows he's going to split the man's focus and keep him from looking. The smoke will go down to protect, and that's a big kill to found from McGowie. That gives them some room to work with. They have to isolate the fight in towards lobby. Nerfed, I don't know that he's going to be able to get past this ult now. He will get on site, but unable to win out the kill. That's going to be the round loss, and T-Connors probably just has to fade away. He will do exactly that. So damage is done at the least, and KMZ hops off the top rope, then straight to his death. That's unfortunate. That's actually really unfortunate, because that's the op.
Wait.
He jumped. Man jumped.
Wait.
Wasn't the bomb. He jumped.
He went for the kamikaze, didn't he?
He went for the sunny. I don't know whether he went from the rafters or from outside, but that's the, if it was inside the site, that's the sunny. Just hits the jump instead of just walking off. Ooh, fatal flaw. That'll get you. Get you every time, Roy.
Getcha. But
ooh, Zeus. Who bought a Zeus? 2 people bought Zeus's.
Yeah, but their money's fully invested right here, right? I mean, relatively. They have pistols, they have armor, they have scout, they have an M4 in the hands of T-Connors, one of the only players I kind of got to save out. But Variance Gaming is also pretty well invested into this round. So Variance Gaming, if they want that lifeline extended on their economy, they need this round. It's desperate. But if they continue playing with fire outside and kind of linger too long and allow Welshi to get slowly tag them down and wound them, it might not end well for them.
I actually like this spot from the church. Normally you want to hold a bit of a tighter angle, but what he's hoping for is exactly what Fang might give him, which is the hop down to clear mini, right? And if that hop down comes in, here might be the payout. He's got someone coming around. It's all going to be about the timing here. Church just waiting for that. Welshi to distract some focus. There's the tag. Now Church knows he can go for it. There's the kill. Gun picked up. Can he get back in towards mini unpunished? He can indeed. Although Fang now jump down and find the timing. Dev gets a second Zeus. 2 Zeus kills in the round. This is unreal. And the tags coming in from Welshi. KMZ brings back one, but this gets very risky. KMZ may do it all to save his team here. But the health is low. 28, 29 respectively. This is very risky for the Variance Gaming side. Minimal investment, and the Big Frames have done massive damage early. They're going to reverse course and get down towards lower. Just try and stay alive, but Fang barely escaped with his life.
I think they know that both Big Frame players are now together, so at least the kind of the element of confusion that was there is gone. So Variance Gaming can play this out accordingly. But again, yeah, they are not in favored health positions, and KMZ playing this to perfection, just going for that one shot and done, and repositioning with the AWP to catch Nerfed again somewhere else. But I mean, Nerfed, yeah, he's healthy, but he has only a flash that he just wasted, and now he has no more utility, so he has to find both of these players now and defuse the bomb. That's a tough task.
Oh, did he spot the head? I think he had just a very thin sliver of Fang's head right over the cooling tower. Now Fang will peek, and that's a big duel to win. Because even if one more of them drops, this round gets so expensive that it's just tough to deal with. As it is, that got very dangerous. I think Big Frame's priority there was really taking guns out of their hand, considering how little was invested. Problem is, because of those little piece of investment they do, they are going to be egoing once again. So another scout. No Zeus's this time. It'll be Deagles and 5-7s instead. How many times have you seen 2 Zeus kills in a round, Roy?
You know, not many times.
I really can't think of one.
If there's a map that's going to happen, it's probably going to be Nuke or Inferno, right? Maybe even the new Vertigo. There's a lot of positions, but Variance Gaming, they've shown their hand outside. They're going for the full spread now. It's a battle of the rotations. Who's going to get where first? Dev has been spotted. He has a Deagle. It's a great position to be in, but he's already been gushed, and now the pressure from the utility might just be a little bit too much for him. But look at this right now on the bottom. There's so many players. Fang team kills himself and eventually falls. Just pure
That's a big
chaos.
couple of frags. Once again, this is so very dangerous. Spammer will at least bring back one, and that's a big position gain. But Welshie still has the scout, and as he saw, he's entirely deadly with that gun. It'll be Church for the alley-oop kill, but there's Welshie. And it took 2 ecos, but they found one of them. That's a massive round to pick up. 7-4, they're still in control. This isn't a bad T-side from Variance. I mean, considering it's new, 4 rounds early on is not bad at all. But Big Frames are going to have every economic advantage rolling forward now.
Yeah, I mean, they went for like the very limited purchase, right? They had so much money in stock still. On top of that, a win. They're super happy with that. That's kind of the round that Variance kind of needed to secure, isn't it? Now they're coming out to the outside. A couple kills happening. Church is farming up with the SMG. That's worst case scenario. At least they got a weapon out of their hands. That's good.
That's maybe a little bold from Church, but they know they can keep it clean, and they don't really care about keeping the SMG true. The op will be retrieved as well, so that's a big chess piece. Still on the board and plenty of money for Church to reinvest. They are going to be fine moving forward. Now the question is, what does Variance Gaming do? Because if they find a kill here, they can prevent that economy from building up for the last couple of rounds of Big Frames, keep them at least a little limited, give themselves a good chance of making this a super respectable half. AMZ's glass cannon. Potential issue here, Roy.
Definitely. I mean, luckily for him, he's... actually, there's no luckily for him. It's really just the AWP that's not going to one-shot him. But yeah, aim punches is definitely is a hell of a drug for sure.
He's been a really big performer for them, so having that limitation could be a problem. He's been opening and escorting some rounds to the close with that AWP, and it's kind of tough to stay alive for a long time when you don't have armor as a safety blanket. He's up on the red dot and trying to find a pick, and Church is going to swing out. That's maybe not the exchange rate they were looking for. Found information. They've given up his life, and that's a second big kill for Nescap. The upper side is just falling. Like snowflakes, the T's are descending. And Nerf has the info, but that info may not be enough, especially because there's still a player out towards Secret, and that's KMZ, who's going to be looking for them as soon as they start to cross in towards Mini, and Welshie's going to get caught completely with his back turn. That's a missed shot, though, and he loses his life as a result. KMZ, you can't be doing that. Now they'll move in for the retake, and Big Frames really come up with it.
Yeah, they were going for the save with that kill, though. They're like, nope, we're going to go straight into this A bomb site and go for this retake, and there it is. Nerf finds one Spammer with the trade, but now the positions are both compromised, and Nerf just swings out just wide enough to find that kill, and Big Frames secure a round that was not supposed to be theirs at all. KMZ, he had that round in the bag. He just needed to tap it in, just get that kill. He's not looking at you. He's not running. He's not doing anything crazy. He's moving in a straight line. You can't be missing those.
Really nice response. That was Welshie's, right? Who just spun and got the one tap.
Yeah.
I mean, great response. That's unfortunate for KMZ. You could have sworn he had it. He had all the time in the world. But sometimes it'd be like that, right?
Sometimes it do. Now look at the utility for both of these teams. It's pretty much limited, right? Church is already down to just a smoke. Well, she has only a Molotov. And Variance Gaming, they're really struggling here. I don't even think outside control is an option for them at this point. It's either they're going to overrun it with weapons, or they're going to use whatever smokes they have to barely cover any of these angles. But Welshie finds a kill onto KMZ early. A great find. And Big Frames, they're on track to finding a double-digit finish right here. And Welshie just angling them out one by one. I like that.
This is looking very good. Church follows it up as well, and there's just nothing for Variance. They haven't even gotten a shot onto any of these CTs, and now the position is towards the hut. This is just a mow down. Variance even picked up a Zeus at some point, just in case he needs to start with somebody. And Nescabs will at least get one back, but it really is a meaningless frag at this point. One last round, plenty of money available for the CT side, and it's going to be a little bit of the shoestring for Variance. They'll get guns out. Should be mostly rifles. Some of them will take the sacrifice and go more towards utility. McGowie, the new addition / stand-in, taking that hit for his squad. Spammer as well. Nescabs thinking about it a little late, but it's 3 rifles, 2 SMGs. Only one of which, though, is an AK.
It's just Nesca, by the way. You don't have to say the BS.
Nesca?
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, this is no bomb playing from last round is definitely a tough situation here for Variance. I think Big Frames are on track for an 11-4 finish, which is a nuts CT side finish. Even if it's nuke, it's still a really good finish. Let's see how it plays out, because right now Variance Gaming, if they go outside, they have 2 Galils and an AK to take those long range duels. That's a tough decision.
They're going to try and let that big gun open things up. And that's KM. He's going to try and redeem himself, and there it is. He loses half of his health in the process, but he finds the frag, and that's really what matters. Big opener on towards the upper site, but you're going to see Big Frames barely flinch. There's a response here. It's going to be to move players outer. But they're chilling. They're not too stressed about it right now. They're holding with the initial plan.
Church, he's looking for that equalizer. He's going to take it into his own hands, but it's his element of surprise. It's gone, but he somehow finds 2 kills on top of that. He's going to go for that third duel. A bit overzealous, a bit overconfident. He loses his life for it, but still, he's equalized it up for Big Frames. Down to a 3 versus 3. The remaining Variance players are out in ramp right now, and I think they don't want to go down below. They want to go up. They actually could catch Welchie off guard right here.
He hears all the footsteps, though. They give him all of the information. Now they're trying to poke up. He misses the no-scope. Welchie trying to go for a little flare, but T. Connors bails him out with a quick 3K as they come up the ladder. The lineup with the AK, and T. Connors, who's had a quiet game so far, comes up big in the last round. 11-4. As you said, despite it being nuke, that is a very strong scoreline to be rolling into the second half with.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like Variance could have finished this half 9-6 easily had they not dropped that eco round. And that would have been a much more competitive half. Now it's kind of tough because there's so much pressure on this pistol right here. They need this pistol. Welchie picking up the rainbow nades, the smoke, the flash, and the HE. And I think it's going to go straight out into the upper A site, into the meat grinder. Let's get it.
Nesca's got the HE. That might be able to do the damage, but McGowie, the new man on the squad, picks up 3, and now KNZ can chime in from up top. And this is looking dominant, but let's not forget what Dev did in the first pistol round. Is there any way he somehow pulls out back-to-back pistol aces? He's trying. And Spammer says, nah, not today.
That was a good read.
No one aces Variance Gaming twice in the same game with pistols.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah, it was a good read from both of these players, actually. Dev kind of reading the situation out well. He's like, you know, I hear him rotating down below. I probably could just sneak back up into the vents, but Simperman's like, I think he heard everybody rotating down below. I think he's going to try to sneak up the vents. So that was a good kind of read and counter read. But T. Connor's looking for that early frag, looking to bait utility early on for the team, so they can at least try to get that bomb down for that extra money in the next round. But I think this might be a tough one, man. They're up against 4 SMGs. That's going to shred them considering they have no armor. But they do have that single flash. And if that's well placed, it could be all the space they need.
This is like the, I don't know, it's like the value meal buy, right? You've just got a ton of potential to feast on your opponent in this round and really just get your bang for your buck. Future. They are going to just burst in towards the upper site. T-Connors gets one at the very least, but it's just Dev, who will find nothing more. So minimal damage done, minimal loss on the round for Variance. The only problem with that is they are now going to be bringing through 3 SMGs to what should be a pretty critical round. We did see Big Frames convert the bonus round in the first half. If Variance can do the same, they've got a very good chance of bringing this back and really shortening that lead from the Big Frames.
Yeah, I wonder what they decide to do off this. Are they gonna try to do a lobby crunch? It looks like they're kind of slowly setting up for it. Nah, not just kidding. The one player just fell back toward Dayhall. But Spanner, I'm surprised the ump is the one holding the outside control right now. I mean, they have 2 Augs. One of these guys could be doing that, but they're gonna have the ump baiting and KMZ all the way in the back.
It is interesting. It almost feels like they were trying to set up just to pepper out the damage so that KMZ could lock into kills, but
I think Nesca's pushed into lobby right now. Wait, where is Nesca on the minimap?
smoke. He's going to get an easy frag. That's the bomb spot as well. Tons of information. Somehow they don't get the response. He manages to slip away for at least a moment, and KMZ's now down by Secret. This could be so dangerous. There's a lot of CTs in great position to find frags, and as you said, all the way back out lobby, it is. Where is he? Oh, he's just waiting for it. He's got a player right above him. Roy, this could be the deadly backstab.
Yeah, that duel is a little bit awkward. Right now we're focusing on the forward pressure. Spammer has a duel up against Church, and the double peek comes out. That's great. That's a lot of space gained for Big Frames right now. Fang doing what he can, and he eventually finds a kill with the paper shredder. But it's man advantage here for Variance Gaming, and they have to still have to figure out what Big Frames are up to. And they're just going to go from outside straight into ramp, so that's a little awkward. I think T. Connors is so separated. Is he even able to get back to his team?
I mean, he could go through ramp, but I don't think he knows it. They'll be clearing it now, so now he's got a path to group up, and that's exactly what they're going to do. He was trying to make sure that that lobby presence was there. Of course, what they don't know is that Nesca was a long time ago. KMZ, it's a kind of a one-and-done spot, but he ekes out exactly what he needs to. Church has to go for the plant. T. Connor's going to be his guardian angel, and that sets up Church for the swing. They actually worked in tandem beautifully, and it comes down to the 1v1, and Church is up to the task. One more bullet, one more frag, and a 12th round for Big Frames. It was hairy. Variance got everything out of that bonus round that I think they could have. But the Big Frames, they're going to be back into it.
Yeah, but I think both of these teams are struggling with money right now as well. I mean, KMZ has the AWP, they has the light armor to go with that. They have 2 AUGs, that's great. Those are good those are good weapons, but have CZ for Nesca, a pump for Magawi.
You got that new shotgun buff, right? Was Nova the one that had the range increased?
Yeah, I think the range and armor penetration, if I remember correctly.
And it's cheaper, which is just wonderful for everybody. So we'll see what Magawi can do with the new enhanced shotty. He's not going to be using it as a sniper, though. He's just trying to pop it right into somebody's dome. I like that spot. I like that spot a lot.
Like you're duck hunting, but from above. Yeah. There it is. The execute's coming in right now, though. Flashbangs all raining in. The one pump is not quite good enough, but Fang is playing between the smokes, and he found himself 2 kills, and he gets to keep his life for that possible 3rd. He's baiting away from Nesca, so he loses his life, but at least they get the trade, and that is a man advantage for Variance, trying to do what they can in such an unusual buy for themselves. And he's recovered an AK.
Oh boy, I picked up a rifle. Oh no, it's a Nova. There's going to be a swing from T. Connors, though. He's now got this to a 1v1, but on the other side, it's going to be KMZ, who's still full health with the AWP as well. Chance to slip down, but the timing just doesn't work out, and it'll just be the USP needed to tap in that little last bit of health. Variance answer right back, but still, Roy, nobody is going to have money here.
Yeah.
They've got a single AWP. They're going to be tossing it around to make it work. And the question is, do Big Frames just take the eco, or do they try and force to keep that money honest?
I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, I don't think it's worth the buy right here. But yeah, this is like the Great Depression right now, and none of these teams can get their economy kind of set. It just seems to be getting worse and worse every single round. They've even down to an ump with no utility. That's how broke they are after a round win. So that's tough. But outside control for Big Frames, just P250s at 1 single deagle. And the single deagle works. T. Connors a nerf. They found 1 kill, but Magawi bringing it back.
That's a nice play for Magawi, making up for his lack of frags last round with the shotty. He gets it done with the SMG. Now it's just Dev, who will be quickly cleaned up, but once again, super expensive. Minimal investment. Pistols, just a tiny bit of armor, and they convert 3 frags. So once again, Variance gonna be broke. Gonna be right on the edge of complete destitution.
At least they have better weapons than they had last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least we're slowly upwards trending here in the terms of economy. Slowly but surely. We'll have that full buy up soon, I'm sure. But
they got the penny stocks, and now they're nickel stocks.
Yeah, and it seems like Big Frames are setting up for that outside control. Now they finally have the firepower for it. They haven't really had a great full gun run outside control, but T. Connors kind of being very pesky towards that door. He finds a kill. Spammer with the ump in a really good position, but he might be overwhelmed and not able to land his shots accurately enough. So it's going to be Big Frames copping 2-man advantage here. 1-man advantage here, but at least they have a lot of control towards Secret, and no one really... Whoa, Magawi. That's risky.
About to get forced down. Oh, that spam nearly finds him. Fortunately, the smoke is up at the right time to be able to slip away. And now the AWP is in play. KMZ's down here. All of the CTs are ready to play, ready to do some damage. Magawi, who survived earlier in the smoke, has now brought it back, and it's all on Dev. 1v3 with the AK up, bomb dropped, no positioning, no real map controller knowledge at this point. Just one man tucked into secret, trying to check for a flank that will never come.
This is still a good play, though. At least you can eliminate that pressure, at least from one of the sides. Now he can work out where Magawi is, but Magawi's already long gone. Now, of course, Netska is behind that white silo. It's kind of a hard angle to predict, but it seems to be more common nowadays. I think he might be able to sniff it out, but he's still on top of that. I mean, KMZ's holding down the ramp, so they know that Dev is pretty much coming from here. But Netska, that was so unnecessary. He gave his life away to Dev. That's a great find, but I don't think he can recover the bomb. This is just a save. That's not or at least a save attempt.
He expected the player at top of the vents as well. Maybe he was just trying to go for a little bit of damage. Fortunately, he loses his life before the round expires. Otherwise, that would have gotten really awkward for the big frames county-wise. But Variance Gaming, bit by bit. The rounds are messy. The rounds are expensive, but they are chipping away at this lead. Now it's 12-9. This is looking like an entirely different game mode.
Again, this is still a CT-sided map, all things considered, right?
Sure.
Yeah, the big frames had a really good half, 11-4, pretty unusual, but you know, the same could be done back to them from Variance. So Spammer finds their early kill. This time they want to not lose control of the outside too much. They have players kind of in charge of keeping the order out here. And Fang is in mini with the MP9. He finds himself one and a second. And of course, Spammer from all the way out back from Credit Card finds himself a kill. And now Church's position is... I'm sure he will not be long for this world. There it is, KMZ.
Yeah. Just a matter of time. Who gets close enough, who finds the frag. He knows he's going to be hemmed in. It's just looking to do a little bit of damage.
But hey,
maybe slip away with a rifle.
Mike, 5 players alive. This is progress for Variance.
My goodness. You're right. They don't have to rebuy guns.
Yeah.
What is this magic?
Yeah, it's a crazy concept, isn't it?
It really is. Full AKs on the other side, and look at the utility as well. So whatever like their strat is for, hey, we can do whatever we want. We've got all the utility in the world. Now's the time to use it. Spammer, though, has an SMG and he's getting aggressive with it. We saw him sort of get caught off in the secret position earlier. Well, he's going to get another opportunity if they choose to come outer, this time with a more forward spot. They want nothing to do with this, though. Big Frame's not even testing the waters outside. They dipped a toe in, and they said, you know what? Nah, too cold.
I don't...
Right back out.
I have to say, though, I haven't really seen anything crazy from the Big Frames on this T side yet. Flashbang comes out. Spammer starting to gain some ground information outside, but he's still not too sure. Now, the execute is coming out here for Big Frames towards the A site, but they don't have their crosshairs there. It's all just a ruse, but they're walking straight into Netska, who's in a one-and-done position, but can't even find one.
Doesn't do much in the way of damage either. Spammer nearly had somebody, but they're long gone. He's a little bit too late on this one. Fang dropping, that's one of the big guns out for Variance. This gets very messy indeed. The trades are good for the T's. It's all falling apart. Just KMZ, who's got an op, but despite keeping 5 alive in the last, it's rough to throw an op at a 4-man stack in a lower site. He's got to be thinking about the save. He's still looking for a frag, trying to get up close by Dev. Will find it through the squeaky door, but now his position is known. It's compromised. He has to be thinking about getting the heck out of Dodge.
Is he going for economic damage at this point? I don't know what this is right now.
He's killing them. He's lost the round for sure, but he's somehow found 2 frags. That is extreme confidence out from KMZ.
Yeah, really. Can't stress that enough. That's so risky. I mean, they needed this AWP, right? They can't lose it, otherwise they won't have one in the next round. Maybe Fang can afford one, but still, they really need this weapon right here.
Yeah, they do. I mean, you just see like the little wrinkle of Magawi not having much money. KMZ wouldn't have had cash if he dropped this. I mean, he'd have had 3K. That was a bold strategy.
For sure.
And you know what they say is sometimes even when a play works out, if it was a bad play, don't think it was suddenly a good play.
Right, exactly.
So, questionable choice, but he makes it work.
I mean, he could have easily missed that shot and died, right? And it would have been all for nothing.
Yeah. And
I would have also liked to see Netska play that a little bit more cerebrally towards the ramp, right? I mean, his position was just not a good one in any way. One and done. It's an unnecessary position. No reason to be in that. If you want to take a duel, this where he's at right now would have been a better place to do it. But he was in that weird off angle. Now he's actually doing some work towards ramp. So he's found himself a man advantage. But again, lingering a little bit too long and exposing himself for no reason. Now KMZ able to maintain the advantage and able to keep his life. So he's out of there. 1-man advantage now.
He goes back. He somehow manages to stay alive again. This man is so confident in his op, it's kind of leading him astray. Fortunately, this round it's not going to be a problem. Variants are now mopping this up. It's just Welshie and T-Connor alive to try and bring through the round. And while Welshie has picked up a kill, T-Connor should have good info. He'll need to find the frag, which he will certainly do. Numbers equalize. This is now very viable for the T side. They're going to bring that bomb up towards heaven, and T-Connor needs to make sure he's not making a foolhardy hop like KMZ in the first half. It would be a lot riskier this time. He's going to take it slow, make sure that he can get that bomb 100% planted. Now this is possible. This is even good.
Yeah, I mean, T-Connor's being down to 10 HP. That hurts a lot, but that grenade, that actually has severely harassed Fang down to 62 HP. This is going to change the way he plays this round out. 1-for-1 trades. KMZ out in the open. Unfortunately, the AWP is not a good multi-frag weapon in a retake, so he will be traded out, and it will be T-Connors with 10 HP clutching it out. And there it is. Big Frames pick up the 14-10, and now the economy for Variance is tough. They might have to forfeit this one.
That was a 2v4, right?
Yeah.
That's rough. That is a tough pill to swallow for Variance. I mean, there have now been 2 rounds that they had no business losing. The Eco in the first half, and now this 2v4. Really tough situation to really try and overcome that over the course of a game. So they're almost certainly going to be giving up map point here, although they're going to be trying to do what was done to them in the first half and get a double Zeus. KMZ taking the Zeus outside, though, a little trickier to make work.
How many times have you seen a double Zeus work 2 times in a game?
That I can confidently say that maybe in like a full local land where SFX is on the server.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, nice big kill for Fang. He gets the first and somehow finds another with the last bolt in his gun.
Oh, wait!
Dropped outer. This is messy. It's all just Welshie, who's now in a 1v2 against 2 unarmored opponents. But that doesn't matter because the man's got an op. He can't get to a rifle either. He's got the pistol out. He's going to be able to get a bomb plant lower, but this is so risky. Variance. Where did this come from?
Yeah, they're taking so much time, though. They need to kind of get a move on. They found AKs finally, and now they're going to be going towards the Ram side. Welshie in a 1 versus 2. I think he has an idea of where they're coming from. Hear all the commotion. He has a crush in the right spot, but a missed shot gives away his position now. He's going to have to survive a long time here. Luckily, there are no kits available, so as long as he delays just under that 10-second mark, he can close this out. But that smoke makes this almost impossible for him. Oh! So the X-ray was misleading. Yeah.
It was so misleading. I thought he had the lineup. He's going to lose the round. He thinks he's pulled them off of it. Oh, that is so hard. They steal away rifles as well. That's huge for Variance. That is such a swing. Devastating for the big frames. And now the question is, can Variance follow it up? Because they've got the rifles. They've just had the kiss of life on what seemed to be the dying moments of the map. They have been brought back, Jon Snow style, and they're ready to get rolling here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100% agree with that in every possible way. Except Jon Snow is not my brother. And the nade comes out, flashes out a little bit for some control here for Variance Gaming. Spammer doing what he can to survive and gain information, while the smokes here for Big Frames cause a bit of confusion and chaos outside. And slow but sure control being exerted here by the Big Frames. Now, okay, who's that? Is that KMZ? Yeah, KMZ's coming up the secret. Now, he could find a player on the side right here. Now, especially with the attention being brought away from him. But Dev! What a shot! What a read! Perfect timing. And there it is. Big Frames have a man advantage. And Variance, they need to decide. They need to do something here. They can't just sit.
Nesca's going to try and take some control. They're pretty much all bunched up towards this upper site. And this is a risky gamble. Last time we saw this similar gamble pay off for Big Frames in the first half. They did decide to, ultimately the T's did decide to hit A, and it was punishing for them. And it looks like that's a similar point they're coming to, but it's a much slower approach. And so Church will catch Nesca trying to peek out for information. And he will be dropped. This is very risky now. Fang coming back to the same spot. This is a rough spot to hold, and Church will get the better of him once again. It all comes down to Magawi, the newest addition, who cannot hold up. So despite that miracle round in the last, despite winning the lottery almost of CS rounds and bringing through that burst of life, that last spurt of energy, now they're back in a ruined spot. Broken by op for KMZ, but it's glass cannon. M4 for Spammer. There's a scout. There's some CZs. It's better than their first miracle buy.
Yeah, much better than their first miracle buy. And they have 2 scope weapons at least. One of them is better than the other, and one of them is not like the other, but still. But I mean, confidence is kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Right? When you're feeling it, you want to take those duels. You're like, yeah, my shot's on. Let's take those duels. But you don't do it well if you don't get those flashbangs. You're just playing a percentage game, right? You're not going to win every single one. But KMZ, he draws first blood, and that's a massive frag coming out here. Now, the smokes are landing for big frames. I think one of them might be a little bit off mark. There might be a gap in the middle of that. Oh, no, it's good.
Not going to stick around to find it. Spammer's looking for it. I think he may have spotted that gap. Maybe enough to show up on the radar. But he's going to try and track and does a lot of damage. Not quite converting the kill. Problem is now they've worked their way down secret in a big way. But KMZ, the big gun on the server, he is going to be around with the potential to deny. They're looking for Spammer.
Yeah, look at Fang. Look at Fang.
So good to get a kill out of that. Oh, wow. What a flank. Fang finds the first. Now he's going to drop down. That's the bomb as well. They'll have to clear his spot. That's a massive kill to find with the CZ. Now KMZ can just look for them on the cross, and this round has completely fallen awry. There's the quick frag from the long angle, and it's all on Welshie. The man has to do it all, and though he's got great positioning towards A, none of that matters if he doesn't have the C4 on his belt.
I feel like we're playing the game of attrition right now, honestly. Well, she's struggling to find that kill, but eventually secures it. But Fang with a picked up AWP catches Wiltshire completely off guard. And I gotta say, Fang played that out really, really well. Just waited for the right time. He recognized the opportunity, just slowly gained some space and got the backstab off. And of course, KMZ finding that opening frag made that all possible for them. So, Variance, they're hanging on. Now, Big Frames, they're in the opposite. They're in the mirror position, right? Now they have kind of the downgraded firepower. They have a CZ in one of their hands. They have, yes, they have AKs. Yes, they have, you know, a decent amount of utility, but still, that's one player without utility and one player in a CZ.
Well, he nearly burns alive, just trying to stick around and go for that outer peak. I don't think he realized quite how quickly that molly was burning. But he's now knocked down quite low. Very, very, very vulnerable. And it just... Variance. It's the rounds they shouldn't win, right? It's the rounds where I'm counting them out mentally, and they just show me how wrong I am in my ways. So they're certainly not out of this right.
No, definitely not. I mean, Big Frames' economy is also struggling, right? If Variance pick up this round, they have a free round and the round after that, and then at the end, it's just one final gun round to tie things up. So, a broken gun round here, and plus one more gun round for overtime, those are pretty good chances. Eska has to not give up his life here in ramp. He hasn't really done a great job so far on the ramp side. And he finds himself one kill. That's CZ for CZ, not too shabby. Spammer finds a kill as well. So man advantage as Big Frames look to transition quickly to that B site. And I think they might have free passage here. Maybe not free, but taken.
Yeah, taken for sure. Fang dropped, and as we saw in the previous round, Fang is one of those players who, as soon as he's out of the server, you just breathe a little bit easier. They're trying to stick around and see the flank and see if someone would push them out, but it's not going to happen. And so now, slowly but surely, they will confirm they have control of this lower bomb site and get that plant down. That could be a big grab from T-Connors. Just shoulder peeking around with Magawi. That's flashes, well timed, but it blinds both. Keep Magawi alive for a moment. A moment too soon. And now picking up some kills on the periphery. This could be viable. That ramp kill is massive for Magawi. It all comes down to Dev. He stood up strong in the first round. Can he get more? 2 kills already. And the power. Dev does it all for the Big Frames. Secures the post plant and the game.
Wow, that was so sick from Dev. Full control right there. Full bullets left in the AK, making every single one count. That was sick, Dev. That was so sick. I love to see that. But man, KMZ has such a good game. I feel like this guy, you know, he had a bit of a kind of a weird start. He kind of wasn't, you know, hitting the right shots. Of course, he slipped out on that one round as well. But I mean, but if you like forget those happen, you know, Men in Black type, you know, beep there into the beeper. That was a great game from KMZ. He's a really fun opera to watch. You know, he's kind of all over the map. He's confident. He does things that are kind of like unorthodox, unconventional, kind of like simple in some weird way. Not to feed Keith's bias here. But
I see you reading Keith in the chat.
Yeah, he kind of does have similar playstyle though, right? It's kind of like unconventional, super confidence based, not rational at all.
Super confident. I almost want to see. So he's like the young simple, where it's just pure confidence in his own op and his ability to dominate anyone on an aim by aim basis. I almost think like the next evolution for him is taking that supreme confidence and knowing when to keep it in check a little bit.
For sure.
Play a little bit more conservative. And I think that if he hits that point of like the voice in his head saying, okay, maybe you think you can get that kill, but does that really help the team?
Right.
then I think
or find a way
really
to like
here.
incorporate it with a team, right? Like there's that one round where he kind of came up secret. He was looking for that duel, which again, a very viable play. You have an op, it's a great percentage to win that duel, but peeks out with no flash and loses to an AK-47. One single flashbang would have denied all of that and would have been a kill for him, right? So I mean, yeah, like confidence is a double-edged sword. I always say it. You have to be able to control that. Even when you're feeling it, you still need to improve your percentages with teamwork. But that is the end of the first map. I mean, we predicted it was going to be a great one, and so it did. It lived up to that. And now the second game is coming up. What's the veto update here? Are we ready to jump into the second one, or should we take a quick break? All right, I think we're going to go to a quick break. Everybody in here right now, please do follow our socials. That is Twitch, Twitter, Facebook for Winners League, as well as Mike's and mine down below on Twitter as well. We would love that for us. And we'll be right back in a couple minutes when we're ready for the second match, which is going to be Low Key Esports versus Party Astronauts.